Greetings, Taekwondo family. Welcome to Miami Minutes, the show that eliminated violence through the medium of love-filled but slightly mocking podcast comedy nonsense. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
That's right. You're welcome, peaceful world. Everyone's going like, what happened to all those wars that were going on? We stepped in when we sorted it.
We did. This podcast was our Band-Aid.
You mean, like in a brand sense, then it was, yes, we were like a Band-Aid over the entirety of the planet Earth, sticking it all together, holding it together through adhesive, plastery nonsense, or also the classic Band-Aid, Live Aid, you know.
Works on every level, baby, and I wasn't even aware of it. That's how clever I am. I wasn't even aware how smart I am.
Oh, man, yo, I'd love to see, though, now. I'd love to see, someone could I suppose we could do it, but like I would love for someone to like put together. And like someone, I'm sure someone could do it through AI. Don't do it through AI. Anyone out there listening? But if you could do Band-Aids that like, do they know it's Christmas? But like make it up from fictional bands from films, so you would have Dragon Sound. So you'd have like Dragon Sound would start off, it's Christmas time.
Oh my!
And then you bring in like Spinal Tap. And, I was trying to think of any other bands from movies, but like,
There's that Rick Mayall and Aid Edmondson one, Bad News.
Bad News, bringing Bad News. So we've got three. Mm-hmm. And then like, there's going to be tons, like Adam Sandler and The Wedding Singer, get him in there, just like, yeah, you just keep spinning up, thousands upon thousands of bands featured in the film. Then just composite together. I'm sure you probably could take... It would be a project, but like you could probably take snippets of them all singing and take like the syllables and stuff and mash it up to create that. I'm sure there are people out there who do things like that.
Oh yeah,
but I'm not going to be that guy.
And you know what I'm going to say as well? I think this is one of the few occasions AI's fine, because don't use AI for actual art, because it's not art, right? If you're going to use it for stupid shit like this, like where you get Johnny Cash singing Sir Mix-a-Lot.
The whole thing. I'm taking a stand, John. Although, to be fair, I did really enjoy Late Night with the Devil, and I've defended that movie many times. But beyond that, I will not. Like, every time, the other day, I saw someone did, like, it was like a 1950s, like, Voyage of Sinbad kind of version of Mario.
Oh, there's loads of these lately, and I don't know how they're doing them. I don't know what program they're using.
It's a bit like I just watched like 3 seconds of it. I was like, no, I refuse. I refuse to give it a like. I want to, because then if it's one of those things. If you let one thing slide, then you become complacent. Then it just becomes normal. Then all of a sudden it's a problem, and it's like, no, you have to step in and start now and go no. So no, anyone out there, do not do that with AI. Just don't use it ever for anything.
You know what?
Okay?
Yeah, okay. You've won me over. I'm backing you 100%, not 99%. But we are here to talk about AI. No, we are here to talk about minute 84 of Miami Connection. The minute starts with Himbo Jimbo, and it ends with the statement that defined a generation.
We don't know which generation. It's a generation that is yet to occur. But like I assure you, in the future, this may well define a generation.
I never said that a generation from the past. No. The people to come.
Yeah. I do wonder like what kind of reaction you would get if you went around with a t-shirt saying only through the elimination of violence can we achieve. Like people, I think, would look at you weird.
Well, there's one available in our store.
People would look at you weird because they're like, they look hot. Like, that's the best t-shirt I've ever seen.
I spent a lot of time finding that font.
And you should all pay off, John, because it was an indication for people to flock to the store, so you can all look as hot as I assume that you might do wearing that t-shirt.
I think it's a cool shit. We'll get to that, though. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We are back as we see Jimbo himself being wheeled out on parade. Which, I think I brought it up briefly last minute. Okay, so the doctor said he had to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yet he's here. We addressed that.
Yeah.
But to add to it, he's having his wheelchair pushed by a nurse against doctor's orders. Do you think she just was like, look, doc, he's telling me he wants to go out. I can't stop him.
Well, I had a kind of vibe that it might have been like starting to lean into like, is it a nurse really, or is this someone who's going to come home with him? This is Jim's dad's present to him for all the birthdays he missed. So it's going to be
a special present, a special lady.
Going back for a sponge bath at the house. You know?
Then again, if Samurai Cop has taught us anything, nurses, they're very horny, but not necessarily for your lead. So maybe she is a nurse and she's into Jim.
Yeah. Although I think a Samurai Cop it was a doctor though, right? So like let's get it right, John. Let's get it right.
Was she a doctor? You know what? It's been that long since I've seen it.
Yeah, I think I remember distinctly because he does the bingo into the stethoscope.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I don't think a nurse would have although maybe nurses do have stethoscopes. I'm pretty sure she was. In my mind's eye, she's wearing like scrubs and the white coat and stuff.
See, weirdly, me assuming that a movie was a bit sexist, then sort of inadvertently made me be a bit sexist by assuming she's a nurse. But like in all those movies back then, they were.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't assume. I should give the movie the benefit of the doubt.
See, that'd be great if they employed this. Like it was actually like this doctor from Miami Connection was the doctor in Samurai Cop, and it was kind of like a weird like in Jackie Brown and Out of Sight. When Michael Keaton showed up as Ray Nicolette in both movies, I was like, "Oh, it's a kind of connected universe now. Who would have thunk it?"
Amazing, hell yeah! The Ninja Verse. I don't know.
Yeah, and then just like that doctor, the doctor from this kind of idly coming on to Samurai Cops is like, "Would you like to fuck me?" Bingo. It's like, well, I'm busy, you know. So
this movie's far too wholesome for that kind of nonsense.
No.
This is a sexless film.
We did see, you say that, but we saw both Jim and Angelo pestering the ladies on the beach not 60 weeks ago or whatever it was.
Not only was that when I was about 12 back then when we were recording that, but also, it I know we joked about them being sex pests. It still felt kind of weirdly wholesome. Like, they're just being a bit cheeky.
There's just bros been bros.
Yeah, like I think if they actually got the women, they wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, oh god.
No, that'd be the same thing too. Like, we ever wonder if Johnny Bravo actually had someone in his bed, what would he know what to do, or would he just be like, I never thought I'd get this far. No, it's just assumed that this would never actually happen.
That'd be a fun thing to explore in a reboot. So Jim, he's not a dumbass. He knows what's up, right? He's injured. He's in a wheelchair. But I'm thinking the description of his injuries, this is a temporary measure, right? This is a comfort thing. He doesn't need a wheelchair like going forward, right?
Well, I believe this is a legal thing. I don't know if it's in the UK, but it's definitely in America. And I've only seen this in films, to be fair. Where I think they are legally obligated to wheel you to the front door. You're not allowed to walk to the front. It's just one of those things that you see people like in other things, like literally completely mended and well, and then the nurse will come in with a wheelchair, being like, "Okay, you got to do it," and they're like, "All right," and then you see people begrudgingly getting in to get wheeled to the front door, and then be like, "Okay, I'm done," and then just walking out and stuff.
Okay, that's nuts. Here they can't wait to get rid of you. Like, just fuck off. Get out of here.
One thing about, I guess you're paying over there.
There's a charge for this compulsory wheeling.
That's probably what it is. If you look at your bill, it's probably like, oh yeah, $50 wheelchair, like exit charge. Like, what the hell? I don't remember that. It's like, no, but I do believe that is a thing where you're like, I'd live with a doctor. I probably should ask her to be like, are you? Well, then she might know, like, I don't wheel people to the front door, you nuts. Like, that's not part of my job.
Yeah, she's too high. She doesn't get involved with that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, but she might know though. But I do know it as a thing from films that apparently it's a legal requirement. So, but I'm still like, this guy is like, it doesn't even look like his chest is bandaged up or something. He should have like a little drips of blood seeping through the gown or something, like to indicate that he nearly just bled to death. Like, what, an hour ago? Like, what how much time has passed?
Well, I mean, I'm not a medical expert, but I agree. Anytime I've injured myself, once it's bandaged up and stuff, blood's still, soaking the bandage. And the bandage has to be changed regularly because of this.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you would still be like, he's just like, oh, it hurts. But like, you'd be probably, unless you're like, does he seem to you like he's on like morphine or anything? Like, I thought at this point they'd be coming out, he'd have like a drip attached to him and stuff.
Well, he does seem a bit kind of stoned and high, but he seems like that all the time anyway.
Well, yeah, you can't really tell.
He's a bit dreamy at the best of times.
Yeah. He's just like, oh, this is like, oh, so we're going to put you on some morphine, Jim. He's like, oh, I have that every morning now. Like,
that's why he's so chill. He's got a morphine addiction.
And it's like, oh, we've got to put him on the methadone or whatever now to try to get him on.
That's what this whole war's been about. It's like they don't want cocaine on the streets because they're all doing goddamn fucking morphine, methadone, smack. They're into the heavy stuff.
That would be like the Last Jedi version of Miami Connection. There would be a scene set in the hospital where you find out that the medical community is actually like profiting from Jeff's drug pushing. He's selling them the methadone, and then all the people going into the hospital because of the ninja bikers are getting treated with the methadone, and it's all aspiring. You have to look, where's the money going?
Yeah.
Like who are the people on the top? It's all like the warmongers in Canto Bight, been like, yeah, these are the people making the weapons to send out. They're your real problem over there. But
I loved that addition to Star Wars because it didn't break anything.
No, I had no problem with that at all.
Yeah,
I just thought the scene was a bit long, and it just felt like it seems like an episode of like Rebels or something has just infiltrated the film now. But
I agree. Despite loving the movie, it does kind of feel like that as well.
Yeah. It was a great. Again, that was one I had one. But my biggest disappointment with The Last Jedi was that it just kind of went back to basics at the start because it felt like they were really going somewhere with like how gray everything was becoming. And how, like, well, maybe Kylo and Rey could get together. Maybe this could be a kind of like take a little bit from the dark side a little bit. And then by the end, it's just like, nope, she's gone. She's like, no, I'm good. Screw you, you're evil. We're kind of back to where we started.
You still could have explored it in the next one.
You could have, but didn't.
Well, they went further back. But I love as well the look on Jim's face. I don't know if it's just me, but I thought I got the vibe of a not too over the top, but just enough of a. That's right, it's me. It's me, boys. I'm back.
You thought you could keep Jim down? Not keep Jim down.
I think it's as much
Except
as he
my
can.
erectile dysfunction.
He could do advertisements for dick pills like Pele used to do. I love the way to a generation of people that's what Pele's known for.
Oh no, that was like when he died, all the talk about the football, I was like, I knew he was a footballer, but all I know him from is like I'll take it, I would, because I remember the way he said would. I was like, is this like a little joke? Him saying would? It's just like him. I think he's like, no, I'm saying I would do it, but it's like, yeah, but the way you're emphasizing would makes it feel like you're talking like it's a joke, right?
When I was away with the band the other day, we stopped at a service station. I went into the bathroom, and a lot of sort of bathrooms like that now sell, let's say, a herbal Viagra.
Oh,
have you seen it for sale? It's like where you buy the condoms and stuff. There's pills, and on the side by the sink, someone had bought, opened, and emptied 5 boxes of them.
Wow.
And left the boxes just strewn around. I was like, fuck it. Did you take them all at once? Jesus Christ. But it did afford me the opportunity to then delve into the pack and get the ingredients list out and have a little look at what's in these fucking things.
You can make your own at home. Is that what you're going for?
Well, I'm literally minutes before, our drummer had asked me, like, are those things like, are they the same as Viagra? What's in them? And I was like, I don't know. And then I came upon this, so to speak. And I was like, perfect. I can loot through this and get the leaflet out.
Is it like I'm going around next time I'm around your house is seeing like the kitchen all covered in pots and pans and you just trying to put together like little pipettes and like the proper like the twirly tubing going throughout the living room and everything. Just, like... It's
my more wholesome Breaking Bad moment. It's like, well, at least you're helping people get it on,
They come around, it's like, no, we need to cook. It's like, I'm not helping you get it up again, John. Like, it was just that one time.
You're my Jesse.
Although it was weird the other day, I was actually listening to a thing back in the early 90s. Due to
you were on a very famous TV show.
Oh, that was a good show. That was a great theme tune as well. But Although it always annoyed me in it because they say I'm Bojack the horse. I was like, his name's Bojack Horseman. It's just annoying that you're like.
Yeah, but he's Bojack and he's a horse. It's
he
fine.
is a horse, but it just feels like you should be like, just say horseman or something.
Well, you know what you could have done? A play on words. I'm Bojack the horse, man.
There you go, something like that. Something like that.
And it fits the rhythm.
Yeah, but just for like they didn't get the memo. He was called Bojack Horseman. It's like, oh, Bojack the horse. Like, no, he's a horse man.
He's a horse man.
Yeah. Well, we'll be hoarse after talking about so many minutes of Miami Connection and everything. But that was like during the early 90s because there was a lot of sex scandals and stuff. Like, you know, the
I did not have sexual relations with that horse.
Well, things like that. Yeah, there's a lot of like there's a big moral quandary going throughout a lot of America. And there's a lot of like, this is in the age of when like a lot of erotic thrillers were coming out that were really heavily stressed on being like, they're dead sexy.
Oh yeah,
they're
even
really
as a kid I knew that. Like, oh, these movies are sexy movies.
There was so many back in the day. Like, you know, it got to a point like Joe Esterhaas, because he went on to do Showgirls and stuff, but he was like the highest paid screenwriter ever for Basic Instinct, I think.
Holy shit. I mean, at least they got the money out of it, because that was a success.
Oh yeah, but then because Basic Instinct as well, it's just like the major selling point of it is like Sharon Stone's really hot.
Yeah.
Like, and she gets her kid off in it a lot, and you get to see everything. You know, there's so many films back in the early 90s that were just based around like, oh yeah, people just shagging Michael Douglas, always Michael Douglas for some reason, always getting laid by people.
He loved it. He loved it. You know what? I forgive him for it because the internet was new. Not everyone had it, and even if you did, if you wanted to look at filth, it was a hassle.
Yeah. But there was just even getting into them people like, I think even David Lynch got wrapped up in it with like Lost Highway was very controversial. It was like, well, yeah, Patricia Arquette gets her kid off in it and she's really hot.
I suppose I've never thought of that. That's David Lynch's erotic thriller. Yeah. And that's probably why I don't like it as much as other people. I just don't like the twist. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's like about like porn or something. Okay, cool, great, thanks.
But apparently at the time, though, America was so sort of like wringing its hands over, like, oh, what are we going to do about the deviancy now pouring onto our screens? Apparently there was a pharmaceutical company that came out and basically like their whole thing was that they were going to come up with like a drug that was like, oh yeah, it's like a sexual repressant.
Oh.
And they would talk about like, well, we could, you know, if you really wanted to take this to its fullest extent, you could just put this in the water supply. And then all of a sudden everyone's calmed down a whole lot more.
This sounds like a disaster waiting to happen though. Like it'll work too well.
Yeah, there'll be no more assaults. There'll be no more this, that, the other, because everyone, just like their libidos have all calmed way, way, way down. And like thankfully the 90s was like, you know, relatively more progressive time where the people were like, no, we're not doing that. That's stupid.
Now, you know what it reminds me of? That movie. What's it with? I should know because I like it and I've got it with Christian Bale, where they suppress emotions with like pills.
I thought you were going to say, because you're talking about like putting stuff into the water supply, and you're talking about a film with Christian Bale. I was like, Batman Begins.
Yeah, that one, Batman.
You know, the one with the guy with the bag in his head. You know,
he's got these like wings.
Yeah, Liam Neeson's around. You think he's one guy, then he's another guy.
No, they're like Matrixy looking one.
Yeah, what do you call it? Equilibrium.
That's it. It's like that because that's the society they've set. It's not about sex in particular, but it's all kinds of heightened emotions, isn't it?
Yeah. But then like so these people came out and this is in the height of and people talking about like, oh, we got like a movie coming out with Demi Moore and you gotta see it because she's really hot and she gets her clothes off and like that was all that cinema was selling you at the time. So like the people like, well, in order to suppress that, well, this company. So I'm like, well, yeah, we're willing to escalate use of this drug, and then it turned out like no one bought it, and a couple of years later, that same like company were in line with Viagra. Like they just went in the exact opposite direction.
Well, I suppose if you know how to suppress it, you know how to do the opposite, right?
Yeah, they're just like, well, no one's buying that one. What if we gave you erections that lasted for 12 hours?
I can't imagine anything worse. Jesus, well, you've got things to do.
Well, I think that as well. It would have been like like the Viagra in many ways was like a great thing for people because it's just like old people who no longer have it now can enjoy the gift of sex again. But then it just so quickly became the butt of a joke because it was just like, it's a pill that gives you an erection.
Hilarious. Penises.
And like the Jay Lenos of the world need to get their couple of years out of that. And then they're like, now it just becomes like, it's just in the background. Like, yeah, you still get Viagra. I mean, I guess.
Oh, this is the maddest tangent ever.
Oh, yeah.
So Jim sat there with a hard on.
Probably, look at that nurse, man.
Well, you know. She's got good bedside manner.
Yeah. But no, so Jim is just not anywhere near as injured as he should be in this scenario.
No.
Like, it has get the vibe that like they were filming this on the sly in this hospital. And they're like, oh, should we like rent a room and then have them in the bed and stuff? And them all coming in. And they're like, no, we have like 10 minutes to shoot this scene.
Don't tell anybody.
Just make sure that someone guard that door. And then just don't. And
there's
you see
a doctor
someone
on the other side rattling it. Open the door.
That's why they have to like crank up the music at the end of the minute and just like have them all like just ignore in the background, but like, literally on the soundtrack, you guys like if you took out the music, you just hear a guy going, "What the hell's going on over there? This is that goddamn Grandmaster Kim in there again."
He does this every weekend. Fuck's sake!
I told you this is a place of business, and stop stealing all the Viagra we got in there.
Oh.
That's what Jim's got underneath his robe. He's been in there raiding all the medical supplies.
He's just got mountains of pills.
That's why they weren't going to wheelchair him up. He's just like, nah, I don't think I can stand up without a whole lot of stuff clattering on the floor.
He's holding it all to his like stomach, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in so much pain." It's actually just loads of bags. He's like, oh.
Sneaking them underneath the bandage.
Genius. Yeah. Again, if you've got to pay this much for them in America, fuck it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Take them all.
Yeah. So it's also too, is this Jim meeting his dad?
Right, I've written that down. I'm quite perplexed because they all speak, and there's a bit where he speaks to his dad as if he's known him for ages.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wait, hang on a minute. He can't have spoken to him because he was bleeding out in the car. Mm-hmm. Then he's come here for presumably surgery, I would think, to put his organs back fucking in. So he's not spoken to him then, and this is him coming round.
Yeah.
So there's not even a hello.
Unless there was we're supposed to infer there was a little bit where he was in like when Jim was on his deathbed. He's like, oh, okay, you can go in to meet your son.
That.
I mean, you would. A sensible filmmaker would, sure. But yeah, maybe they did have a little brief meeting before where they had like, oh, Dad, and he's like holding his hand when he thought he was dying. And it's like, all right, sir, we got to get you out of here or something like that. But the impression I got from watching this was just like, yeah, he's going like, oh, Mark, it's you. Who's this guy?
Yeah. Like, I know he can maybe infer it's his dad, but you'd be like, oh my God, like, come here, give me a hug, kind of. Nothing.
It's like Mark coming out of, hey Mark, who's the kid? Well, Jim, this is your father. Like, that's not my father. What are you talking about?
They've just got a random from the airport who needed a lift. He's like, yeah,
I have a son called Jim. I didn't say it was this guy.
Yeah, you didn't show me a picture or anything. I'm like, oh, jeez.
And then like they're all really terrified of coming across as being racist. So they're just like, just because we saw a black guy there, we just didn't assume he was the.
And he had, he had talc in his hair, so he kind of looked old, I guess.
He had a towel draped over his shoulder for a second. I thought the resemblance was uncanny.
He should have a really high-pitched voice as well, I think, just to drive it home that it's his dad. Like,
this should be 100% like the that guy in Batman Returns doing the Chris Walken impression when he was playing Chris Walken's son. They should have got a guy in just to be like, okay, let me get into this. Hi, son, it's me, your dad.
It's your daddy. I don't know when I do it. I just do Michael Jackson.
See, I was worried I was going into that guy from Scary Movie 2 there. I was like, oh, my strong hands.
The guy with the hand. Yeah, that's all I remember of that movie. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know.
I saw a thing on Instagram literally the other day that was just about like, things people do at dinner parties, etc., filmed like recently, like within this week.
God.
And there was "it's my small hand" joke. It's
Still.
like, it still lasted. It's like 24 years ago. Get the hell over it.
Then again, I still quote stuff from Freddy Got Fingered that about 5 people remember.
Oh,
I'll be there going, I'm the backwards man. And it's like, everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm the backwards man.
Daddy, would you like some sausage? I mean, there's so many classics in there. There was a full-on thing, though. I remember watching a video essay on Freddy Got Fingered where a guy was really trying to sell it. It's been like, this is like a Dadaist work of art. Like, it's intentionally.
Right, that's a
like,
podcast.
Man, we do need a film lined up for. I mean, we've pitched a couple back and forth, but I mean, Freddy Got Fingered.
Freddy's got minutes? No, I don't know.
That one seemed like, I think that might break me. Freddy Got Fingered minute by minute.
Because there'd literally be about 3 episodes where he's playing sausages.
Yeah. And it would be like, this is kind of disgusting now. Like, I just kind of got over while watching it. To be honest, I got over watching it like about 20 minutes into the actual movie.
Oh, jeez.
And then the world got over Tom Green, like right quick at the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that love affair died straight after that movie.
I think we would have more chance of getting Tom Green on to talk about Freddy Got Fingered minute by minute than we would getting YK Kim on.
Well, I've tried to get YK Kim on and that's nothing. So yeah. Well, to be fair, I've only tried one avenue. I should try another avenue. I will.
Might want to hurry up.
That's for bonus stuff at this point. Bonus stuff,
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous to get like the guy who directed the movie on for like literally the last minute of the movie, but then we did that for Batman last season.
Exactly, right? That's our thing. Plus, then they can talk about the whole movie.
Of course. It was an intentional thing we did last time. But Tom Green, if you're out there, I mean, I don't like a lot of your work, but I would like to talk to you.
You know what? If I get in touch with him and he's willing to do it, that means we then do the podcast. There you go.
So that might actually sell him on the pitch if we came up and we're just like, if you agree to come on, we will cover Fred. Like, and then look, just to prove, like, look, we've got like 5 seasons of this Batman show, and we just did all of Miami Connection, so we're legit. But we're only gonna do it if you come on, just for one episode, just one episode. He might actually be like, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. There's a promise, listeners. Right? If Tom Green gets in touch with me replies to me. We will do it.
And then we got our photo taken with him, and it's just like 3 kids in a trench coat with talc in their hair pretending to be Tom Green.
I'd fall for it. I've fallen for this. I've got a daddy right in front of me.
Stop calling him a dad. Also, I have to, like, is he still with the army, Jim's dad?
I don't know. There's a thing. Americans seem to love wearing their uniform all the time. So I would think he would be in the uniform. But I would also suggest that the reason he's not, if he is still in the army, is just because they haven't got the budget.
Yeah, 100%. Unless they went to like a thrift store and got like mismatched. Like it was like, oh yeah, he's got like boots from like the World War I. He's wearing like a World War I helmet or something, like the old tin hat,
the German one with the spike.
And he's just got like a World War II tunic, like really stretched over his chest and stuff. It was way too small.
I mean, I'm sure people here do it as well, but that seems very American to me. They love wearing the uniform.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, they say like if you're in the military, it's like a big old deal in America. Like, I don't think I've met any soldiers over here, so I can't really speak to like what it'd be like.
You don't see them walking around in the uniform. There you go.
Yeah, but I think in America, the vibe is like for any special occasion. I think to meet his son. He would be like, yeah, I got to put on all the gear. Yeah, that's my whole. So unless he just like he's retired, I think even if he retired, he'd still come out with like the.
Absolutely. Whereas like my dad was a military person, he hasn't got a uniform. Like he doesn't own one. You know, he might have some medals somewhere, but I've seen one. You know.
He donated it to Jim's dad's tunic for Miami because it was just a random hodgepodge of medals from different wars. Like, there's one from Korea. There's one from the Boer War.
Some of them are Air Force. Some of them are Space Force. When they all stand up to greet Jim, actually, this is just a tiny little thing I noticed. we did mention John putting on a shirt.
Oh, yes.
And we can see as he stands up a nice pattern on the shirt. It seems to have a fruit. It's got lots of fruit.
Let's see if we can get a good screenshot here.
There's an orange. And
maybe like
apple.
he's like they couldn't bring any fresh fruit to Jim, as would be the custom. Visiting some of those, so he's like, well, it's the best I can do is just to wear fruit.
It's a fruit wearing fruit. You can still say fruit. I'm allowed. I'm non-binary. I can say what I want.
Well, I don't know, but maybe edit out my laugh. Maybe I'm not allowed to laugh at it. I don't know.
I'm giving you a pass.
It's okay. I got a pass. Again, I wonder though who's like. Jim might come out and is like, what the hell are you wearing my shirt for? It's like, this asshole brought me the first freaking shirt he could find. He didn't check who it was.
That's a good point. It's got more Jim energy.
It does have more Jim energy. It does not have John energy whatsoever. His dress sense has always been like intensely sensible. So he had his cool duster back in the day, but even that was like they had a little turquoise polo shirt underneath that kind of nerded it up a lot. Maybe Angelo, but
oh yeah, I could see maybe Angelo. Yeah, he's got a bit of pizzazz.
He was just like, I can't make it, but take my shirt. And I'll be there.
I'll be represented in that way.
And a lock of my mullet.
I've only just noticed as well, John has also seen the doctor. He's got like bandages around his torso.
Ah. Let's see, what second are we on?
Second 4, you get a good shot of it.
Oh, second 4.
It's underneath the shirt, almost like another shirt, but it's bandages.
Oh. Maybe they got him to make him a shirt of bandages. Oh, actually, no, I think I can see what you're talking about. Yeah, I assumed that whole thing was a t-shirt. Same. But no, it's got the angled. It's going down at an angle. So like, no, that is all bandages. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because he did get in some serious brawls. Although I love the way Mark's just fine. It's a very Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious. Like I can't get beaten up. It's like, do you need any like a band-aid for your hand there, Mark? Like, no, it'll heal within seconds. Don't you worry about me. He just flexes and it heals. But yeah, now maybe this is because John came there shirtless and they're just like, oh, we bandaged him up. We do have a hospital issue shirt that we give to people who come in shirtless. That's from the Lost and Found. There you go. Or it's like a collection. People died in these. So. Oh, yeah. The family didn't want them, so you can have it. Yeah, it's like some smack addict came in there. Just a little bottle back, but like, yeah, we prize this cool shirt off him, though, if you want it. Oh, I love it as well, when the lads do all stand up, Mark asks him how he feels. And he doesn't seem that bad, as you mentioned. He says, still hurts, he claims, but seeing you guys again and seeing my father, it's all that matters. Oh. This man I assume is my father over here. I'm assuming against all reason. And then Daddy does speak up. He says, Jim, you're really blessed to have such wonderful friends. They really care about you. Oh, isn't that lovely? It's very nice. The dad can see the love, the passion. Well, of these three, anyway. The others fuckers, no. Jane and Angelo, yeah, the hell with them. They're kicked out of the house. The thing, when he arrives back at the house with them, he'll be like, so where were you? Oh, your best friend's in the hospital. You couldn't be able to bother to show up? God damn it. Well, they've got things to do. Like they're prepping a welcome home party. There you go. Oh, actually, they were already prepping a party, weren't they? Yeah, I forgot about that. They were gonna when they got back with Daddy. They're gonna have the banner originally said "Welcome Jim's father." They had to crash it out, going condolences for Jim. Cross that out. Welcome Jim's father. Brackets and Jim. Congratulations on your survival. Had to flip it over to the other side. They should make cards like Hallmark cards that say that. Congrats on surviving surgery. I think they might do already, to be fair. I think the greeting card industry is so vast now. I think they will make a card for any occasion. Oh, I've seen crazy ones. Yeah, like people who... The most bizarre connections that are barely even family, there'll be a specific card for them. Most bizarre connections, Miami connections.
You can give this card to your Miami connection.
Oh, Jim's dad taking out his card now, like, thank you for being a son.
I mean, that definitely fucking exists.
Jim taking out his card is like, thank you for being a, quote, dad.
Thank you for being an absent father who has returned.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming home, Dad.
Welcome home from the shops.
And now he's just like, Jim, and as promised, here's that pack of cigarettes I went out for.
He didn't lie. He never, ever lied. Aw. And, you know, all I could think as well, you know, he's saying, you've got such wonderful friends. It could be unlucky for Jim. Maybe his papa hates friends. Hiya! Attack.
He's just there, like, you know, my other son, he really got it. Him and me were on the same page. I raised him before I had you. And then he was a white guy. Great face of hair, you know.
I haven't heard from him in a couple of days.
I mean, if anything ever happened to that boy, I'd have to kill every single person who was involved in it.
And their friends.
I would hope that they wouldn't have friends, because the very idea is so disgusting. I thought his phrasing was very strange, though, because he's like, what does he say? Something like, you're so blessed to have friends who care about you so much, and now having seen that, I care about you as well.
Like, yeah, the exact wording is, it's interesting. He just says, and I want you to know that now I really care too. Yeah,
it kind of feels like, oh, now that I've seen that they care about you,
you must be all right.
Yeah, you apparently are worth caring about. So, yeah, I'm getting in on the action.
I love the way you took it a dark way. I took it a positive way, right? Because I thought it was accountability. I thought he was being very honest, and he was owning up to the fact that he didn't care enough before. He left the family. He's like, look, I did do that. Let's not dance around it. You know, let's not skirt the issue. I left the family. I didn't care. But now I'm being a man. Or, well, now I've come of age. now I'm no longer 12. Now I'm 13. I'm being a man.
Now my puberty mustache is kicked in.
I've got my first hairs coming through, you know.
I found this pair of Larry David glasses over here. I'm set. I'm a grown-up now.
Yeah, I thought that was big of him. It was big of him to kind of say, look, I fucked up, man.
I think, though, that would still sting to me. Just to be like, yeah, I didn't care before. But now I've decided I care.
But it's honest, because he didn't. Because if he cared, he wouldn't have left.
Yeah, but it just still feels a bit like, I don't know, maybe he's trying to sugarcoat it a little bit. But like, I suppose what else would you say, though? Like, yeah, the war took me away. I guess you just have to be like, yeah, look, kid, like, I just didn't give a crap back then. Okay,
I was a jerk. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, I was a dickhead. I left you. Like, well, that wasn't good, but now I'm gonna make it good.
Unless he was captured by ninjas or something. It's like, yes, I've spent several years now behind caged doors.
What's his face from Rambo 2? The
John
boss.
Rambo? Oh yeah. Troutman?
Yeah. Oh, is that 2 or 3? That might be 3 actually. Because he gets kidnapped in one of them, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think that's the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, because 2, it's him who goes and gets Rambo from the prison.
Yes,
and gets him free to go on the mission. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, yeah, Rambo's 2 and 3 kind of like, one of them, I think 3 has Kurtwood Smith. I think as being the thing that makes it stick out. But like, yeah, the 2 and 3 are kind of like, these are kind of blending a little bit here, quite frankly. But,
even though they're literally the opposite of settings, they still, like, I don't know, the same movie.
Yeah, they just have that kind of thing. I think even the poster was just like, yeah, we just used the poster for Rambo 2 again. They just called it, like, more blood, I guess.
Oh, they should have done that. The one that always gets me, right, and I love the movie, the one that always gets me to this day, Die Hard 2. Die Harder. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, I think all the titles of all the Die Hards are terrible. Like, every single, even Die Hard itself is a terrible title. Like,
but at least it makes sense. He's a Die Hard cop, you know.
But it's like, I guess he is, but it's like, yeah, he's not dying easily. He's dying hard.
Well, that's you've hit the nail on the head. That is what by naming the sequels this, it's implying the name is. It's not Die Hard. It's Die Hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not the name. And Die Harder.
Yeah.
What?
But then they Die Hard with a Vengeance. Great, amazing movie. I would say just as good as the first one.
Almost.
It's a terrible title. And then when you get into like Live Free or Die Hard, it's like, I remember that when they announced that, I was like, what? What the hell is that?
I love that, but it might be biased because if you remember over here, it was called Die Hard 4.0, which is the worst possible title ever.
Give it that little tech edge so you know it's about computers and stuff.
What was the fifth one called? The Russian one?
A Good Day to Die Hard.
That's all right.
I think it's probably one of the better ones, but like,
but it's also the worst movie. So.
It's by far the worst movie, but it's one of the better titles. It's like you can't like, yeah, this is the Die Hard movies. It's like it's just got to be a terrible title and a great movie, or a good movie with a terrible title. That's the only way.
I mean, it says it all. I've watched even 4. I've watched them all a million times. I've watched 5 one time.
Yeah, no, diabolical.
And it was that era where they were like, yeah, Jai Courtney's a thing, and you're like, no.
Was it Jai Courtney or was it Jake Sully from Avatar? Like those two guys. Are just like,
I'm 99% sure it was Jai Courtney, but there's that 1% now you've said it.
It could be. It's like, oh, it's like a muscle-bound white guy with like really cropped-in brunette hair. It's like,
look the same.
It's like it didn't have enough charm to be Channing Tatum. It was like, so Channing Tatum would have stuck out to me, I think. But I also I have to say though, like Die Hard, better name than like, because like the name of the book it's based on is Nothing Lasts Forever, which is also like, if you saw that, you know, I don't think we would have a franchise.
Well, I would assume it was a Bond movie.
It sounds so Bondish, yeah, totally. But anywho,
yes. Where were we? Then, however, he's got something that I find it strange. He says, "I love you, son." Right. I don't want to put a downer on this moment, but this is literally the first day you've ever really spoken to this grown man who is your child. I think throwing out the "I love yous" is a slightly premature.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if he was a little kid, yeah. But this is a grown man. You've only just met. I mean, he's gone through all this trauma as well. Maybe hold off on that. It's a bit weird.
It's been more like, I love the son I'm imagining you are in my head because I don't know you.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I now love the idea of having a son, and I guess you're here. It's like, yeah, it's close to the sentiment, maybe.
You've hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is. He's in love with the idea of a son. Now, he's come to terms with the idea. He's embraced it. Cool. But he doesn't know anything about him. What if Jim's a dick?
It could, unless they've spent the last like hour regaling him with tales of Jim. And just like, oh, yeah, like about 60 episodes ago, him and another friend who didn't bother to show up, they were going around pestering girls on the beach and stuff. And
in fact, that's probably why he's not here. He's probably pestering more girls.
I was like, well, what other things? Like, oh, there's that time he cried about you abandoning him. And it was all really awkward for all of us because we're all getting ready to get in the shower together. Like, what's happening in this house? It's like, don't question Dragon Sound's methods, okay, man? You're new here, all right?
Yeah, they got to teach him a lot, you know? That's another thing. Like, he's got to learn everything about this guy. I get it, though. You want to make up for lost time, but don't throw out an "I love you." Don't do it. It's weird.
It'd be like, no, now I want to say I care too. I would love to get to know you, son. There you go. That's it. But I think almost Mark's reaction too, because he gives him a very like somber look, almost as if he himself is going like, "What the fuck? Like, you better step up here, man. If you're throwing out an "I love you," you better mean it." You know.
Absolutely. The only reason to throw out an "I love you" is if you're a con man. He wants to.
That's the only reason ever. In any scenario, the only reason you say "I love you" is because it's part of a con.
In my experience, yes. But, salty. But you know, what other reason has he got to do it? Because he wants access to the bank account. That's what it is.
And then he's going to get there, and they're like, yeah, he spent it all in that suit. It's like, oh, God damn it.
He's there for the Jim fortune. He's like, oh, I heard he's in a band. He must be rolling in it.
They got Dexy's Midnight Runners fired. That band. They must be huge.
They bring a big audience.
Yeah.
And they've got a whole stage show going.
It could be the free pretzels brought that crowd.
It's free pretzel night. To be fair, if a bar gave away free food in this day and age, I'd be up for it. Remember, they used to give away fucking peanuts. Yeah.
Well, there was the free scouse down at the ship at Miter back in the day, and then they realized quickly, like, oh no, we can't keep this up. And then it just progressively got like a thinner and thinner gruel every time until eventually people just stopped going. That
was their tactic. Like, we'll wean them off.
Yeah.
You can't just stop the scouse.
It was too nice before. Now we have to make kind of crap scouse. And then try to give them enough of a taste of it so they order actual food then. And then
clever bastards.
Mm-hmm. But
well, despite what we're saying though, Jim says it back.
Yeah.
I love you.
Unless you want to imagine that this is some sort of like dying, vision of Jim, where he's just like, yeah, this is how I imagined meeting my father. That would be like a real. Oh. That'd be great if that was like the ending they did. Where like they're like, no, the audiences think that this that ending with Mark and John is out there going crazy. That's too dark. You need to throw on a happier ending. Oh. And they're like, okay, we'll go and reshoot. And then they film this exact thing. And then the camera pans out and like Jim's lying dying in the bed. And it's all in his head. And then outside you see Mark and John are still just running around with no shirts on.
Or you could do it like subtle, right? You could do it so he has made it to hospital, but he dies in hospital. So all this is a dream. And then as it freeze frames at the end, you just hear the heart thing go into the credits. So then Jack thanks the nurse, but I thought he then reveals he's turned insane, right? Because in this moment, he decides to say, nobody's going to mess with our band again. Like, holy shit, dial it back. Fucking hell. He wasn't even in the fight.
Well, it's the little kind of maneuver he does with his chin after.
Yeah.
It's like a tough guy, kind of like, yeah, that's right, no one's going to mess with us again. Like he's really like squaring himself up like, that's right, we won.
I'm a tough guy, and he's reveling in the killing.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
Oh, those were some heady days.
Oh. See, that song was actually about him. That's the payoff.
But yeah, it really is just like, you don't jinx it, you idiot. What are you doing?
It's a crazy... Imagine saying that as well. They've just had to fight for their lives. He wasn't there, and he's like, yeah, we murdered those motherfuckers. It's like, what?
Plus, I don't think we ever saw Jack really fight, right? Like we saw him fight in because he got the Taekwondo. Oh no, he got the toe in the mouth, didn't he? But I don't recall him being that much of a featured fighter throughout the rest of the movie. So I guess it was all well and good for him to be like, oh yeah, there was a bunch of guys at the house too that I beat up. Oh yeah, we took care of them all right. Yeah.
Oh, there was about 50 of them coming at me.
That would have been a good scene though. And they cut back and as Dragon's House Sound was getting invaded by ninjas as well.
They should get back to the house after this, and the house has been set on fire.
Angela's lying dead outside.
And Mark just falls to his knees. No! As it goes to the credits.
He's just like, oh, we killed Jeff for nothing. And then Jim's dad's like, my other son's name was Jeff. No!
Everything's connected. We get Mark saying, oh, hang on, is it Mark? I haven't written down who said it.
Yeah, John then kind of parrots what Jack's saying. They're both kind of like, that's right, now we're totally safe. No one's ever going to mess with Dragon Sound ever again, ever.
That's crazy.
Like, it really isn't like, just because you killed the head ninja doesn't mean there's not like, there could be like 40 more of them. Yeah. Like there's Jeff's entire gang still out there. Like Dexy's is still out there. You didn't get him.
That's a good point, yeah. And presumably, this gang were working for a larger gang. Because that's how these kind of mob things work, isn't it? It's like levels and things. So there must be like some big mob boss like in Korea or Japan or something.
Yeah, I thought like this is such a like. It would make more sense if they said that, and then Mark was just like, "No, like we have to, like it's never over.
We have to take the fight to them." The next one's in Japan.
It's the end of your favorite movie, John, The Predator, as you recall.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that was a thing. Like again, the promises is never kept by some films. Where like that and like Independence Day 2 came out around like the same time, kind of. I say that there's probably like 5 years between them.
Don't remind me of either.
But yeah, like the end of Independence Day 2 was just like, yeah, now we're gonna go invade their planet. And like that seems a bit colonialist, but whatever. This is like, oh yeah, eye for an eye, I guess, huh? Like that's your gung ho moral message. Brent Spiner, who I thought was dead.
And I love the way the plan is invading the planet when they barely survived both attacks.
Yeah,
from the aliens. It's not like they've got an advantage.
Plus, too, I thought like the aliens didn't really have a home planet. Their whole thing was that they're like locusts, and they just went to different planets using it up, and then just went on to the next one. Like which home world are you going to?
That's because you're not an idiot who had to write a sequel.
But then that was the pitch at the end of Predator. The Predator was just like, yeah, now we're gonna go to their planet and then hunt them. Like, and I'm sure some people were like, yeah. And then thankfully, like they were like, what the actual sequel is going to be is something we should have just done years ago, and it's just like a Predator movie set in a different time period.
Pretty much the only thing you can do with it, really.
And the whole vibe, though, with Jack saying that, it really feels like the end of like the Mortal Kombat movie. We're expecting now for like you to hear like the thunder rumbling or something, and then
you fools,
a giant demon comes out of the ground like, now you must destroy me. And Mark been like, okay, let's go, and them all doing a pose, and then just like freeze frame.
It also made me think of like the dialogue. Now we're all safe. Let's all go home. It's all over. This is the dialogue you have the characters say when they're about to be assassinated. The hospital's going to blow up or something.
This is
Yoshito's rigged it.
This is like, oh, Jim, I've bought us a boat to live forever.
Yeah. That's exactly the vibe I was getting. I've seen this movie a million times. I was still expecting them to die.
I think it just comes down to like people who don't really know how to write a movie properly, and then but like so we have to emphasize it as ending. So how do you do that? By having several characters literally saying it's over now. Like you might as well
all get ready to go home.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller coming out now in his dressing gown, going like, "You're still here? The movie's over. Go home."
You can't these days. You've got to sit there in the cinema and Google whether there's an end credit sequence.
Yeah. That's not even just the Marvel movies now. Those back then, it was like when you saw people walking out early, you're like, idiots. But now it's spun the other direction when you're there whether by yourself or with someone else, you can see people kind of get out their phones to be like, all right, let's go to look up here. Can I get up now? Or what? They'll have to stick around.
I love the way I know that's now what you have to do. Yeah, I still never look it up beforehand.
No, because you don't think until it's over. And they're like, oh, crap.
It was quite a relief when I went to the cinema to see Interview with the Vampire. Because once the credits came up, it's like, oh, I can leave. That's fine. Like, I know, it's an old movie. It's all right.
No, they have the post-credit scene with Elia setting up Queen of the Damned.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You've never seen that?
Jonathan Davis of Korn starts singing, yes.
Yeah. All of a sudden, like, the entire screen just sort of, it changes from that sort of yellowy tint into, like, the new metal green-gray thing. It's like, oh, now you're going to see some Queen of the Damned, baby.
And Lestat starts doing the Korn heavy metal scatting.
And then tell you to see Tom Cruise literally tearing up his contract and walking away.
Holy crap.
Oh, but now that'll be even like I want to see the first Omen. That was like there could be a post-credit scene.
Oh,
but
absolutely, in a horror, yeah.
But also I think the post-credit scene might just be the Omen. Like it was.
They just play the whole movie. Should
I stick around? Or what was going on?
That'd be amazing. Oh. Yeah. But then we get another sort of big feature of the 80s, not just the Live Forever. We get them all awkwardly walking towards the camera, looking very uncomfortable, and there's a freeze frame.
So it just made me remember there that there was that meme going around when Oppenheimer came out, and people screenshot it. There was some it was Watch Mojo or some random clickbaity kind of thing that pops up in your Facebook feed, and it was like, does Oppenheimer have a post-credit scene? And people were putting in it just starts playing the entirety of Grave of the Fireflies after the credits and stuff.
Holy shit. Dark.
Yeah. But anywho.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
To get that, it's technically not our last minute of footage, because next minute there is some footage.
But this is the last real footage.
This is the last bit of new footage to us, we get a little sizzle reel in the aftermath. But it has an awkward vibe, this whole thing.
It's almost like they're looking at the camera.
Yeah. They're just like, now everyone turn around and walk towards the camera and try not to look at the camera, but also be walking towards the camera. Don't look directly at it.
To be fair, it's easier said than done, because when you deliberately don't look at the camera, sometimes you look like you're deliberately not looking at a camera.
It's actually quite a nice phrase. In many ways, I'd like to have this, and then because Jim looks like he is kind of full out posing for a photo, like an old family photo.
Yeah.
And then his dad looks like he doesn't really want to be there, so John's got Jack's got his eyes closed, so when the flash went off.
You've already there, I think, given me the episode picture.
Oh, totally. Because I guess you have to save the only through the elimination of you save that for the next one, I guess.
Plus, is that too obvious? I could call the episode that, maybe.
Sometimes you gotta give the people what they want, John.
That's true. I mean, I was going to say that is the catchphrase of a tag team I like, but they broke up a couple of days ago. The best friends, they're no longer best friends.
That's a terrible name for
No, that's what I love about them. They're dead goofy. In the middle of a match, they'll just randomly hug, and the camera goes nuts, and the commentator goes, "You've got to give the people what they want." Because they just want to hug.
It just sounds like it's kind of such a Step Brothers vibe.
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
And one of them, his real mum sometimes drives them to the ring in a minivan. She's called Sue, and she got threatened by one of the wrestlers at the company. Oh my God, no, not Sue!
Now I've got to say these guys broke up.
Yeah,
is it a bit, or are they genuinely in real life? Oh no, they're done.
Well, I mean, it's a character thing. They're actually best friends in real life.
No, that's what I mean though. Are they broken up in real life? The guys have gone, no, we're not doing this anymore, or is it a bit in? Is it part of kayfabe just that they've broken up? And they'll be back together eventually, kind of thing.
I'm sure they will eventually, but not for a long time, because this is the story now. Is the breakup?
Yeah. It's gonna be. You've already sold me on that. That's my 5 seconds of just talking about them.
The best friends are amazing. I love it. I'm gonna have to send you at least one clip of the hug.
It's gonna be me showing up then at the match, just like Jim's dad, been I'm here now, and now I care about you too, best friends.
Maybe you can bring them back together.
What are you doing here? You missed all the good times.
I mean, there is a third best friend as well, Orange Cassidy. As an Irish Catholic, John, I can't be seen affiliated with a character called Orange Cassidy. Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. Fucking hell. Holy shit.
I was like, so okay, I've broken up with the best friends already.
Orange Cassidy's the one everyone likes. Oh, fucking hell.
But no, anyway, I would love to take a screenshot of that moment and then just print out a little tiny photo and put it in a family photo frame.
Yeah.
And just leave it. Maybe I'll take it into the office and just put it there. People are is that your family? And I'm like, yeah, it is.
You know what I could do, right?
That's my Uncle Jim. His father, we don't know his name. And Joe Jack, Grandmaster Kim, and John.
I've got that digital Polaroid. So you can connect your Polaroid to your computer, and as well as having the physical one, you can move the photos to it. But you can do it the other way. So I could put this photo onto the Polaroid and print a Polaroid.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Do it. Let's do it.
That
Put
would
that
be
up on
amazing.
put that down as part of like the Patreon feed or something too. Like if you sign up for $10, you get a Polaroid from.
You know what? I actually might start doing stuff like that. Like, we could sell them as merch. We
No,
could do
totally.
like little
Totally.
Batman pictures as Polaroids and sign them and stuff.
Yeah, oh totally. And then we could just like we could sign as the characters or something too.
Oh,
like and
brilliant.
Put in, yeah.
I'm doing this for the band as well. Fuck, this is a money-making scam.
But just I've got.
It's not a scam because the film costs a fucking fortune.
That's not a scam because you're talking about it on air, John. You can't tell people it's a scam.
I'm that confident in my ability to scam people, I'll tell them.
But that's like, it's genuinely a great freeze frame though, because I got paused on second 54. Again, YK Kim, he's actually doing a good job there. He looks like, yep, I'm just strutting towards the camera and I'm looking like I'm a professional doing a thing.
I don't know, there's one moment where he has a little smile like, I've seen you, cameraman.
Jim again just looks like he looks like he's the granny.
Yeah.
Like this is like his 80th birthday or something, and there's like
They're
a family.
picking her up from the hospital to take her out for tea.
The dad, yeah, genuinely looks like he doesn't want to be there. And then Joe Jack has the kind of vibe of like a guy who's kind of knows he's in a photo, so he's kind of like he's doing the raised eyebrow to kind of look like he's bright and happy, but it's still a little bit awkward and just like. Hey,
I love it when awkward people do that. Instead of smiling, they raise their eyebrows for some reason. It's like, that's not really covering it.
And then the best is, of course, because he's in a kind of crap position behind YK Kim, so you don't really get to see him properly. But then John is just like granite faced.
Yeah.
Looks so unemotive. It looks like he's like a footballer. And like one of like a team photo or something. It's like, don't show any emotion. You just gotta be there. Just look like a man. Damn it.
Absolutely.
And it's if only like if Angelo and Jane were there, I feel this would be the perfect photo. If we can Photoshop in a shirtless Angelo rocking in the background, and then I don't know, like Jane.
Dancing on stage. Let's get the most inappropriate pictures of them from the movie.
So I think it's been so long since we really kind of delved into Jane. We had the ghost of Jeff hovering around in the background there too.
Oh, like a force ghost.
Yeah.
He's coming to Jane to tell her it's okay. I'm at peace.
That was something that they couldn't get any other people, because like Jane's like the only girl in the movie, really, is Jane. It's beyond the ones that are harassed on the beach. But so
we
like,
don't know whether they're actors or not.
So that nurse was just like, yeah, it's just Jane in a new outfit. They just did a Jeff again. The
Why
nurse
not?
comes out with like the face mask on, so you can't tell it's her.
Fuck yes.
Yeah?
Oh, but then, Taekwondo family. After this last proper shot, we get the classic text, the most iconic phrase of our lifetime, the single most inspiring moment in the film. The words of wisdom adorn the screen. Only through the elimination of violence can we achieve world peace. And this is genuinely incredible. Because, it's true. It just feels weird coming immediately after a slaughter. A justified one, granted, but we're still kind of pumped from all the action and the killing,
Yeah. Although, again, I think originally it was much more of a drastic juxtaposition because it was coming literally after, like, a freeze frame of Mark with that sword going, come on!
I think in a weird way it would fit more with that ending.
Yeah. So you're going like, oh, isn't the violence so horrible? And I'm like, only through the elimination of violence can we achieve world peace. But now it is just like, yeah, everything worked out great.
Well,
This is like, thanks to killing Yoshido, now we're okay. Like, all right, I guess so.
Well, it's one of those things as well. Like, I agree with the message. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because, it's all well and good saying, oh, let's all be friends. But not everybody has the same motives as you.
No.
So it's a difficult one. It's a noble goal. But how do you achieve it? I think that's the thing that has plagued politicians throughout time.
It's kind of like it's a very simplistic view, I think, because it's just like, if we had no violence, there would be no violence. It's just like, yeah. But then also, people, like, it's not just, the soldiers out doing the fighting who are the ones waging the war, There's a lot of people, there's machinations going on by people who have never picked up a weapon. Mm-hmm. They're the ones who are causing the fighting, the ones who are going like, well, I can profit from this fighting in some way. And so here we are, So It's not just taking away the violence. So there's always going to be some asshole who is like, if I could get one over somebody, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I could probably cause a squabble, but then I'd be profiting, so
that's all they care about. So then you're back to square one. It's a nightmare. It's a fucking nuisance. Yeah. And this is the problem with all politics. I mean, it's been addressed by many thinkers throughout the years. I mean, there's a lot of leftists who are actually very, I don't want to say pro-violence, but pro-violence pointed in the right way.
Yeah.
As Lenin said, the supersession of the bourgeois state, I have it in front of me, the supersession of the bourgeois state by the proletarian state is impossible without a violent revolution. Which is kind of true, because you know that the bourgeois state is the thing with the power and the money and the control, and they're not just going to go, oh, you voted us out, oh, sorry, bye.
Yeah. I think the YK Kim wanted to put that in, but they were paying by the letter, so, like, no.
And we know he's more of a Mao man. I think we talked about who also said something very similar. Mao believed in the necessity of violence against the bourgeois.
Well, that's the thing then, though. You keep having, like, so you have violence against the bourgeois, and then you take them out, and then you become the new thing. That then someone else behind you is going to come over and be like, well, I don't like this, so I'm taking you out now. And then,
which is the danger. Yeah, this is the problem, isn't it? And then you're stuck in the cycle again.
Well, I guess maybe YK Kim would be like, yeah, but you know what? If you just didn't have violence, though, you wouldn't have that problem. Because, like, people could want to take over, but the violence is, I guess he's kind of advocating for, like, a Clockwork Orange society.
We're taking it the wrong way, yeah. He's actually really, really fascistic with this.
Yeah, that could be. He's just like, yeah, you crack down. You make it so people can't commit violence. Then there'll be world peace, right? People literally go out, try to punch someone, and start throwing up. There you go. We're done.
Well, this is the thing. Even evil people think they are achieving world peace. Like, dare we say, I think Adolf Hitler thought, well, I'm achieving world peace.
Yeah.
Like, obviously in the most fucked up way, but yeah.
I mean, I think, go from Adolf Hitler to, like, another, very memorable dictator, M. Bison. And of course, he had this great speech. Like Raul Julia's M. Bison, where he just talks about, like, oh, we'll wipe every creed, every nation, we'll destroy them with my super soldiers, all until the day that the world is in the loving grip of the Pax Bisonica.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, but I think even afterwards he's all like, and then there will be peace throughout the world. This whole, like, if I just go and, like, raise the world to the ground and everyone just accepts me as the ruler, then everyone will be great. I'm literally going to give people world peace. What are you talking about? I just have to do this first.
That's the thing. Is an enforced peace? It could become it, but it's not it.
That's the thing. Again, in Clockwork Orange, it's like you saw Malcolm McDowell doing the worst things you can possibly imagine, but isn't them taking away his free will kind of really bad as well, right? Like, I mean, yeah.
Because really, they should just imprison him. And you're like, okay, cool, I'm on board with that. But what they do to him is fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess they did also imprison him as well, but then you get into debates of, like, well, imprison him and just get back out, he just might do it again. But now we can prevent him from ever doing it again by literally altering his body chemistry so he can't ever do it again.
This is where you get, it becomes a fascinating kind of discussion where it's a bit like, I used to work in a mental health hospital. I like the way we've gone from silly to deep, by the way. It's good, good show. I used to work in a mental health hospital, and it was, one part of it was, I'm going to call it a prison. You're not allowed to call it a prison. But it is. It's a prison. Murderers there and things like that. But you're always sort of in your mind when you're doing the meds and stuff. You're wrestling in your head with, like, okay, well, are they evil? This murderer who killed little children or whatever, or are they ill and they need help?
Yeah.
Because I mean, both things can be true. It's difficult because they're ill. They're mentally ill. I'm giving them medication to help them not be mentally ill. So are they a bad individual for killing children.
Yeah. I believe Morrissey himself once said, like, posed the question, is evil something you are or something you do?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, we do get more of this caption next week, so I don't know if you want to, like, table our thoughts and come back to it then, or
Why not? Why not? We'll have fresh thoughts. In the meantime, people, buy a t-shirt on TeePublic so you can wear it when you listen to the next one.
And look hot while you're doing it, of course.
Yeah, to look very sexy. I think you can get it in as a dress.
Ah.
Don't quote me on that. That may be Redbubble. I haven't put anything on Redbubble. If you can get it as a... Oh, yeah, maybe TeePublic doesn't have dresses. It's got loads of shite, though. Get a pillow. You know, you can get a fucking, like, tapestry.
This is a castle. You do have tapestry. It's like every time you mention a tapestry, it's like you have to throw out the quote.
Absolutely. But are you ready to break the connection and go and buy tapestries?
It's all over, John. We're gonna go home now because it's all over. Except we do have 3 more episodes after this, to be fair, so it's not quite over yet. But...
Oh, they're meant to be a surprise. Oh. Yeah. But no, we will break the connection for now. Come and speak to us on Facebook at the usual place. Yeah, Taekwondo Orphanage. Find us on all of them. Twitter, Instagram, the aforementioned TeePublic. Sleepy Charlie Media is our network, and that's got all the merch for the shows. I mean, if you just type Miami Minutes, though, it does come up very high up the list. But you can find it on TeePublic directly as well. And also, our network has a Patreon for bonus content. I was going to try and think what we've got coming out when you hear this, but... I think we're working on a new episode of VHScapades.
Yes.
That'll be the next thing.
We currently have our coverage of the 89 Batman comic, but I don't know if that immediately makes people from Miami Connection want to hop on. But yeah, we're doing VHScapades. We have several up already. We did. Speaking of early 90s erotic thrillers, although it wasn't all that erotic in the end, though. But Dead Calm is on there. There is a sex scene in it, but it's not erotic, really.
No, it's like the opposite.
Yeah. But I think it was sold, though, has been like, yeah. Because again, in the early 90s, everyone was like, Nicole Kidman's in it, and she's hot, right?
I think that puts a sour note on the movie. Like, because it's meant to be like a really dark scene. But if you went into it going, oh, this is going to be so hot.
We got that. We got License to Kill, which I guess is hotter, to be fair. And yeah, they will have... There's only 2 VHScapades we have out, though. But yes, we will have one coming out pretty soon, actually. Yeah, because we got to do the one for May. So,
and actually, if you do want to hear us talk about erotic thrillers... head over to our other show, Bat Minute. You don't have to listen to all the Batman episodes for this one. We do a one-off one about the movie Poison Ivy.
Oh, yes.
Which is one of our most listened to episodes for some reason. It's insane how that one blew up. That's very sexy.
yeah. That's us and our friend Brittany Simon. Did a great, really in-depth discussion. Brittany has some great insights to stuff. And we got it in a big bad way in the Poison Ivy. And yeah, if you want to talk more about Nicole Kidman and been hot, Batman Forever. Yeah, we talked about that quite a bit as well. So she was horny on main for that entire movie, and it was insane.
So check all of that out. And join us again in 1 week for more Miami Minutes. Nobody's going to mess with our podcast again.
Only through the Elimination Advisory.
Listen to me.